All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, buddy. I'm doing great. Happy, what is it? Hump day.
Yes, happy hump day to nice holiday week coming up towards the end of this week. Pretty good. Very excited about this. All right, guys, let's get into it. Me and Norm were looking at our gappers list this morning before we got on, and this thing is just we
Well,
don't.
it's shocking. I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. And I mentioned this to you. I mean, the market is essentially flat. Um, for all
Yeah.
intents and purposes, the market's flat compared to these gap days that we've had. And my gappers list is pages upon pages long.
Yeah, does not make any sense.
It's strange.
Yeah. And for those in our chat room, the scanners in our chat room do not show as many. I don't know if there was a change there made, but again, it's just one of those days where it's insane. So we'll look through the top five, but we will definitely skip half, no more than half of this list. It's just way too many to go through. But first, let's take a look at what we had yesterday on our list, guys. Let's start with
It's another
V.
beauty of the community
Yeah.
too, and I'll throw that out
Yes.
there is that we've got a whole bunch of people watching and looking, and if they see one of these that's interesting, we don't mention, they can mention it themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we picked up some pretty good tickers off the community because everybody knows kind of like what we're looking for. So it helps to have so many eyes, as you mentioned, is perfect. Um, all right, so Mike is telling us he had to reset the scanners twice to get them to work. So definitely something's up with these. I'll reset mine now. Let's take a quick dive at that.
I've
So
done mine. I didn't notice
yeah.
any difference really.
All right, so I'll leave mine the way it is. I won't reset just yet. Looking at here, guys, our watches from yesterday, I kept only five actually. So we have VLDR, this one, a rough start at first, not completely looking great here. Did give a little bit of choppiness here into the market open. Later down 1030, settles down nicely, guys, and breaks out just beautifully above some of the highs, some of the levels we had here, pre-market high as well, and then high of day also right here 28.74 and just shot up nicely, but again it took a while to get that going. It was very choppy at first here. If you did not get a good short, there's a nice short here, nice drop. If you did not get a good entry, this would have been tough to hold through because again it was swinging between almost 60 cents per drop here, so pretty difficult to hold through that. Apple was next on our list. Now this was the one that made a lot of people's days, guys. Again, this sell off at the open, but we knew the stock's been so strong and we've seen this move over and over again. If you go short here, guys, and you get stopped out, or get a short partial and get stopped out, that's okay. Look at what happens. You build this beautiful engulfing pattern right over here, and a lot of us went long in this pullback. I mean, which I don't want to say which is new because you never know, but it was just so clean that this thing wanted to go back up and break some of these levels. It did just that. Look at the pop it takes off here. It does hit the high of the day. You get a little hesitation. I'm sorry, high of the pre-market. A little hesitation here before it takes off again, all the way up to that 134.40ish level. So pretty good on Apple. From there, it doesn't continue that clean. You do get some kind of chop here, but then the drop does become beautiful again. You don't expect this drop here. This here is a great entry for a failed VWAP potential here. So again, it comes back up to VWAP, cannot get above VWAP. This is a trade that we take quite often, and you can see the beautiful drop back towards the low of the day. So Apple was very nice yesterday, gave you a lot of opportunities. Here's Piton, same situation, but if you were in Apple, you could have missed this one. Does drop down, does engulf the previous candle, but this one takes off in a hurry, guys, because it doesn't really give you a whole lot of chance to get into this if you didn't get a good entry here. And then from there, you do get some really wide wicks over here that are just a little bit concerning. This was really the move here. After that, it doesn't trade all that well into the intraday. Neo did drop nicely, but it took some time to get going. Again, just back and forth until it finally gives in and loses the VWAP here. The volume on Neo, though, yesterday was great. I mean, it's just amazing how much volume you get on this stock. And Neo is one of those stocks where that first 30 minutes could be brutal, could be very choppy. Yes, all that volume is coming in, trying to pick a direction. Then it does settle down around 10:15 or so. You can see the beautiful drop here coming down towards the low of the day, struggling here to maintain that, and then another beautiful drop all the way down to 46. So NEO was great yesterday. PLTR also was very nice. This one got going a little bit sooner than NEO. This one did drop nicely here. Did give you a little fake out here. This is an engulfing pattern, guys. So again, gave you a little fake out here. Does not run much, gets rejected, and then right back down towards some of these levels that we had down here. So not a bad day. Not excellent, not great. We won't say it was that, but definitely not bad at all. Let's hop into the market this morning. As you mentioned, no, we are pretty flat, but we're seeing a whole lot on our gappers today.
Well, reset them. You might have to refresh or restart trade ideas a couple of times. It's what Mike said.
Oh, cool. I'll do
He
that
had
now.
to do to
Yeah.
get it correct. I did the same because I started going down the tickers and looking one by one, and I started seeing some that literally had traded 0 shares. So they were having, some of them are correct and some of them have data from yesterday.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going on there, but I do it a couple of times, it'll fix it.
Yeah.
As far as the market, as I mentioned, I mean, relatively flat. We've perked up just a little bit here. Qs are up less than 0.1%. SPY up just under 0.25%. We did just have employment data come out. We had jobless claims for last week that came in at 803,000, but that is down from 885 the week before, and that was also the estimate. So that's actually considerably better than expected. Continuing claims dropped versus their estimate in last week's read as well. Personal spending was negative 0.4% versus an increase of 0.3% expected. So that might factor in here. You know, a lot of people, they've been working on this COVID bill in Congress. COVID bill, I say that because there's a lot that doesn't have to do with COVID in it as well. And I'll get to that in a second. But, you know, a lot of benefits for people running out this week. So, that might have something to do with why that spending number came down as it did for November. What else here? Let's see. Let's dig in. So I was talking about this COVID bill that was both chambers of Congress got this thing through. And then last night, the president put out a message saying the $600 payments aren't enough. He wants to see $2,000. Threatening a veto. Ironically, you've got some of his biggest critics agreeing with him. So we will see. I think some of these airline stocks I've noticed were down a little bit. I think because a little bit of uncertainty about airline support that was in that bill maybe doesn't make it in a revised version if they revise it along those lines. So could be interesting. We'll see. Have to stay tuned for updates on that.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Norm. All right, guys, let's get to it. So we did reset our scanners. Here it is, guys. If you're having the same problem, got tried about 2-3 times. It'll fix. Here, this is more and more reasonable to what it should be. So, so that is good. There's still a lot on here, either way, but not what we saw earlier. Earlier was way too much. All right, so let's get to it, guys. Let's remove our list from yesterday on here, and I'm going to just come back up here, remove this here. Let's delete some of these, and let's get some rows in here. We'll look at what's up this morning. We'll look at the top 5. Still not a great list, though, looking at some of these names. So we'll see what we have here. Here's SUPN, guys. This one, let's get our daily, see what that daily looks like this morning. They are up nicely 20%, 204,000 shares traded at the moment. Pre-market action not looking good, guys. Really all over the place here. You can see how that volume of those 206 is not trading well at all. Their daily, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, right? What do we look for? Their daily looks horrible. Just look how much volume they're trading on any given day. Very, very low. Today they're already trading, you know, almost half or a quarter of what they usually do for the entire day. And it's just, you know, not a potential stock that's going to trade very well today. So I'm going to keep that off the list. MGA, another one. Look at the pre-market here. Also not looking great, guys. Spread on this is not the spread, but actually, yeah, the spread is nasty. 40 cents. That's not great. And also not a lot of liquidity. That's what you get to with these type of stocks that do not have a great daily great volume. The spread, even on days when they're gapping up, could be brutal, and you're seeing that here. CLNE,
I
What
want
do we?
to answer
Yeah,
one quick question,
sure.
Carlos. So I'm being asked on YouTube if
Mm-hmm.
it's important to know these data points and everything, and it depends on how you trade, what kind of trader you are, and everything else. Um, it's important to have an idea overall of what's going in the market. It can determine if we're going to have a lot of volume in the day. It can determine what sectors might move. It can determine things of that nature. So, always let price tell the story, but at the same time, having a little bit of background can indeed help.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. You don't want to let it, you don't want it to become a bias, but you want to know what's going on for sure. It does help. MGNI, this one here, we are up 14% right now, 368. Pre-market looking a little nicer here, right? Starting to get a little better. Obviously, before 7:30, before 8 o'clock, this is horrible, but starting to look all right. We do have shares for sure on this one. They're daily, not too bad. I wish they had more volume, 5.8 for the most part, looks like, but not bad, not bad. Maybe a possible. Not typically
so I
what I've
will.
watched. Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting on that one. So the catalyst there is there was an analyst on CNBC after the close yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I don't know 4:30 ish that called this her best pick. She's somebody that's called for 2021, and it just spiked this thing from 27. What was its closing price yesterday? 27 ish,
27. Yeah, yeah.
27.50,
Mm-hmm.
and it spiked it up, into the low 30s. So she called out Roku. She called out a lot of big movers in the last couple of years. So has a pretty
Mm-hmm.
good track record and shot this thing up like crazy.
Wow, interesting. So it should be fun to see this one, guys, today. Definitely up a big pop. And it looks like something's definitely going on because you look at the last couple of days, right? The last three trading days, you can see the volume has more than doubled, right, from their normal trading volume. So yeah, looking good here. Let's definitely keep an eye on it. And again, guys, just look how great it gets after you start getting volume. Look how nice the candlesticks start looking here. When you don't have as much volume, you start getting this crap over here that just doesn't look great. CBAT we looked at before, does not trade very well. They had a couple of bang up days here, guys, popping up pretty nice and dropping pretty fast here. Then they had some chop in between here. Looks like they had some consolidation, bit of a support. I do like the daily on here, guys. Possible breakout, right? As we're seeing here in the last couple of days, had 2 green days so far. Could get going. Pre-market action. Looking at active with 578. I think it's worth adding. You know what? I'll add us a main one today, but might not stay there. I'm not gonna say I'm a huge fan of it, but it's the best thing we've probably seen this morning on this gapping up list. Fuel cell, this one, man, it got going yesterday. I know some people were watching this one. Let's see how that traded. Hopefully, you took advantage of this. Nice big pop right out of the gates here, guys. So yeah, that traded very well into the market open yesterday. So today they're up 9.4. Pre-market action really all over the place, but this is kind of what it looked like yesterday. You see how it's just chopping up and down a little bit with some very big wicks here. And it still traded very well into the market open. So let's add it as a possible for now. We'll come back to it. Daily does look good here, though, guys. The daily does look good for a possible breakout. Yesterday, we tested some of these areas of resistance here, and today we're gapping above that. So that's a good sign. LAC, this one had a good day yesterday for the most part. Pre-market is looking okay. Maybe a possible. Not a big fan right now. I think we've seen this in our gappers list before. It hasn't traded very well. Again, it did great yesterday. I'm not sure how that's gonna translate into today. We'll stop right here, but we got some good names coming up though. So let me just check a few more. We have a Plug, which we know we've seen quite a bit. Look at Plug's daily, just continues to rip here. JD's coming up here as well. They are up nicely 3% with a not such a great pre-market action. Their dailies, although it's very choppy, is interesting what you're seeing here. You see the consolidation right in between here between October and November. The previous day closed clearly an area of resistance. We did below that just at the beginning of December. We did consolidate again around this area, and now we're breaking out of that. So I wonder if we are in the midst here of going for another type of range on the way up. That could be interesting. I'm going to add that on here, guys, because I do like the pattern on the daily. Pre-market doesn't look all that great just yet. We need that to get going. CLDR is another one that also has traded well in the past. Bang up day yesterday, guys. Look at this here, just ripped nicely. So pretty good day yesterday into the entire day. The entire day was a runner here. Pre-market right now really all over the place. We'll keep it as possible. Let's see if there's any more gas in the tank here for this to get going. I'm going to stop here. Some other good names coming up here, but if you guys see anything great, you can point it out to me. On the gapping down list, KBNT. This one is a 5 million shares flow, which is down today 14%. We do have shares for short. Again, pre-market action is very, very active. I'm going to put it down here as the low flow of the day so far, unless Norm has found a better one. But right now we just keep this one on here. Fubo, this one did have a great day yesterday. Look at that. So the daily on Fubo is just looking amazing. Today they're down actually pretty nice, 11%. I do like the pre-market action. I do like the volume. I think Fubo earned a spot here in the main watch list today. So it's coming up here, 14 million shares float. 14 million shares float. They're down 11.1 today. Pre-market action not great. I like KBNT's pre-market action a whole lot better. So I'm going to keep this one off for now. If it gets better, we can come back to it. NKLA, man, look at this thing. We're getting some volume and a nice drop here. We do not have shares for short with Interactive Brokers, unfortunately, but we're losing some ground here. Look at the area of consolidation we had. We've been holding this what is this here? This previous day close line for some time. This was the drop we got here back in September. We touched that a couple of times early December. Again, nothing good has come out of this company, right? They had this stuff was sitting over here at a 70, 90 bucks, and it was like, you know, the next best thing since sliced bread. And after all the negative stuff and the allegations, and then GM pulling out, which is not a surprise, this thing is tanking pretty fast. So
what happens when you take a video of your electric vehicle rolling down a hill in neutral and then claim you've, you're going to solve the world's problems with electric vehicles?
It makes no sense at all. So, right, Kevin, you just can't make this stuff up. And so we'll keep it on here. Again, we don't have shares for sure. I do like the pre-market action right now, but again, might not be anything that we can do about that, at least now with Interactive Brokers. MVIS, not looking good, guys. I don't like the pre-market right now. Their daily is interesting for the most part. Not all that great at the moment. Norm, what do you like so far this morning?
I'm still looking, man.
Yeah, it's a very tough morning.
It threw me off a little bit with the gappers being off and not realizing what was going on there. So I'm still searching.
Yeah, and even now with this gappers list that looks 100 times better, we still don't have great stuff here today, and that's what's gonna happen going into the holiday, guys. You got to be careful. You got to know what time of the year you are in, what type of market you are in. There's some spans where there's just not anything great, so you got to adjust. You got to adapt to what you have available, what the market is giving you. So let's hop here. Let's start with Climber. Climber is giving us, or Climber, I'm not sure what that is. But Climber J is giving us Neo here, guys.
There's nothing going on there. Yeah, I think he was commenting on that candle a few candles back. That's just a block trade from the close yesterday. Got reported this morning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this is pretty flat today, guys, and actually not looking great, as Norm mentioned. So we'll skip on this one right now. SRNE, we know what Neo looks like when he's trading great. That's not it at the moment. SRNE today, they are up 9%, 1 million shares traded. Horrible daily. And we had this one before when it had gapped up huge. When was that? I think it was right in here. We had it on our list, and it didn't trade very well, guys. So again, I don't expect much out of this one again today. Yesterday, what did it do yesterday? It looked like it traded decent, but again, it's just not a fan of it, guys. Looks good on a possible breakout, but the daily is just so choppy. I don't trust that this is going to trade well, so we're gonna skip on this one. PLTR was decent yesterday. Their daily still looking very good, guys. Look, we're not consolidating, but we're kind of pushing up against this this 28.96 is 29 level, right? It looks good for a breakout even today. Pre-market looks really good. I do like PLTR. That's definitely one of the top ones today. PLTR. Yep. Thank you for that one. That one is good. OGN. OCGN. So OCGN, what's the float on this one? This is running nicely, 89 million shares traded. OCGN, there we go. 156 million. So this is going. Norm, are you in this? Are you? This is typically what Norm will look for, and he's going long somewhere in here. Oh, there we go. Look at the little guy. OCGN. Hey, buddy. So
I got the risk manager.
Yeah, there you go. Talking about risk, somebody asked yesterday, what's a good risk to have when you're taking trades? And the way this gap watch list and gappers is looking, we could take time to answer this question. And they said it's 2% a good number, and we can't really answer that for you. But I know starting out 2% is still a very, very high
On a
number.
trade?
Per trade. Yeah, per
Oh
trade.
no.
2% is a very, very high number.
Hey, no, that's big.
So you see articles out there. If you Google something, that many traders risk 1%, and even then, those traders, this one thing they're not mentioning is the experience aspect of trading, right? These guys have a lot of experience. So an experienced trader that's been trading for some time can risk 1% of their account. Starting out, guys, do less than that. We teach in our community, you could even start trading risking $20. There's nothing wrong with that. Start risking $20 to make 40, or start risking 10 to make 20. Focus solely on the process.
2% is generally a day, like max loss per day. That makes sense. 2-3% maybe. Yeah, I mean, when you're first starting out, don't come anywhere close to that.
Yeah, and some people will take, oh, that's great, 3%, excellent, and they have a $80,000 account. Well, no, we don't mean 2% or something like that, because what happens is that's still a very big number, right? So if you have a large account, you want to risk less than that. Think about the damage that you're doing if you're risking $400, because that's 1% or a 0.5% of your account. That's not what we're saying. You want to risk an amount that you can learn without hurting your capital there. All right.
Think about percentages when you're starting out.
Even
if you have 100.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
correct.
even think about percentages starting out, and even if you have a $100,000 account, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no shame when you're first starting to risk $5 a trade, $10 a trade. I know that doesn't seem like much, and a number of people I've talked to, and I had conversations about this. I've mentioned that they're like, well, $5 is so I'm not even going to think about it. I was like, okay, then do 10.
Right.
And they try it, and then they raise it to 20, and they're like, "Oh, I'm feeling. Well, what's the difference between $5 and $20 out of $100,000? Not much.
Right.
You got to have just enough on the table that you can feel a little bit of pain to keep you in check, while at the same time you're learning, not risking your capital."
Exactly. That's the whole key here, guys. All right. Let's see where we left off. You guys have any more good tickers? Let's go back up here. So far we have 4 in here, and 3 of those are probably not looking great. Let's go back up here. Plug. All right, so here we left off. Plug, let's take a look at that one. Yes, I thought we had plug on here. Didn't we put on? Yeah, I like plug. Plug is good. Let's throw that on there. mRNA is another one we have here. mRNA, let's take a look at that one. I love the daily on mRNA, guys. This thing dropping here, pretty nice pre-markets. Not bad, actually. So mRNA, we could throw this on here. Don't worry, we'll fix this list. It's all over the place right now. What else we have? NVIS. I think we looked at this, right? Yeah, I'm not sure about this one, guys. I mean, we have 1.4 right now. It's down 8.6. Yeah, you know what? I don't know, something about the way this thing is moving. I just can't pinpoint it. We'll come back and look at it again, just in case. I'll put it here, but something about the stock that I'm just not feeling at the moment. So we'll see what happens there. CLNE, I thought we looked at that one. CLNE. Another one that's gapping up. Again, these lower price type stocks that gap up like this are usually not great for me. They don't. I can't spot the price action as good. Their day looks good here, breaking out nicely. Obviously, we had a couple days here with some good volume. Could be a runner. We'll throw it on here. We'll look at it again. Let's see how that pre-market continues to develop there. Let's take a look at the YouTube, guys. What do you guys have? We have one more here from Edwin. He's giving us Ride and American Airlines and Workhorse. Sorry, guys, I skipped a few here. So Ride, I do like the daily on here. What was that?
One of our one of our viewers on YouTube says you don't like me. that we're not, that we don't like each other.
Oh, right
We,
is
we live 1,000+ miles away from each other, but we get to see, well, not this year. But usually we get to see each other 5, 6 times a year at
at
least,
least,
and
yeah.
we have a lot of fun together.
Uh,
So
we, we sure do.
Carlos is my brother from another mother, man.
That's right, man. That's right. And it's funny you put that post on the last trip that we had in New York City, which is right before COVID and everything hit, or at least got everything grounded. And that was my last trip as well, man. We have not gone anywhere since then. So again, definitely miss meeting up with you guys, with the members and the team as well. Ride, guys. I like the daily pre-market. Actually, not so much. I'm gonna throw down here a lot of possibles today. I don't think this looks anything all that great at the moment. Going back over here, let's look at Workhorse. I know that one was thrown out there before. Workhorse right now, daily looks good, guys, but pre-market is really dead at the moment. There's nothing going on there. I saw American Airlines as well. The airlines, you know what, Norm, you mentioned something on this yesterday. Earlier today, their daily looks interesting, but we'll have to see how it's gonna play out. So I'll be looking at the scanners for something like this. Right now, just wrapping around the previous day close line here, but I do like the daily on American Airlines, though. You know what? I'm gonna throw American Airlines here. I do like that daily. If we can get a drop here going, that could be interesting. All right, guys, we're gonna stop here. Let's do some announcements. We'll come back and look at this list again. Not a blockbuster list for sure. Very far from it. But we'll see what kind of day we're gonna get today.
Yeah, so Eamon's webinar was last night. I think it got recorded. There was some confusion on timing of that, so that should be up soon if it is. If not, I apologize.
Yeah, it'll be recorded. I think Mike had recorded. Yes, it should
Somebody
should be up
grabbed it.
today.
Okay, good deal. It should be posted later today. So, last success webinar we'll have until probably the new year. I know we won't have one next week, so keep an eye out for that. And then our next psychology webinar is going to be on the 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be Mike doing his module 5, talking about mental resilience for trading. If you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, you can take a screenshot of your best trade, mark it up, entries, exits, and describe your strategy and everything. Post it on Twitter, tagging at Variable Traders, at Mike B_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also use the hashtags BBT Family, Day Trading, and Stock Market. We will search through those and choose the best trade we see on Twitter for that day. That person will win the trade of the day. So the closing bell showing on Twitter. And then we will take all the 5 for the week, and the team votes over the weekend anonymously. And we will announce the trade of the week on Mondays. All right. If you're watching this on YouTube and would like to try the chat, you can do so at a discount. Use the promo code PREMARKET24. It'll give you a discount off the normal price. 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the room. Does not auto-renew or turn into any other kind of membership. Also gives you access to Carlos's onboarding class, which he does every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Also, you can use the promo code HOLIDAYS40 if you would like to become a lifetime member or upgrade your membership to lifetime.
All right.
And just one note on that as
Yeah.
well. The thought of us getting along, which is once again laughable a little bit. Nothing insult. I mean, it's hard to tell. You see us for a few minutes a day, and we don't get to interact a whole lot, frankly. But if the news, the email, we don't spam. We send out very few emails here. But Andrew sent out his end of the year email yesterday that he tends to do, kind of recaps the year. It was quite funny.
It really
And
was.
did you see the link to our infamous unknown YouTube, our YouTube conversation from earlier this year, talking about how much people were drinking?
Yeah.
It was on there. So if you haven't seen it, check it out, guys.
It was amazing. It was really good. We have a lot of fun on this show. That's for sure. And we got a nice comment, Nora, about our shirts today, because we're wearing collar shirts today.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. Someone mentioned we usually have our sweaters and comfortable shirts. But I gotta say, our closet is the same thing probably for you, Norm. I mean, after working so many years in a corporate office, I don't use even a 75% of my closet now.
No.
Not using these
I've
all
worn a
these cargo
suit once
shirts.
in 3 years.
Yeah. So it's a
Now,
great.
actually, I did wear my jacket once, but I had shorts on in the middle of the summer. That was for a headshot for PCT, I think. And then what else? What was the other one? I had something else I had to wear a suit for, and I felt so out of place.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
nice not to have to wear suits anymore. Of course, it's ridiculous how I've got a mid-sized Japanese car sitting in my closet essentially that I don't ever use anymore. So anyway.
All right, excellent guys. As Andrew would say, let's get back into character and let's fine tune this list here, guys. All right, here's our watch list right now. Not looking too good. Let's start with just scanning through this and kind of filtering some of the stuff out. Doesn't look great. Here's CBAT right now, getting a big drop here on CBAT, so we'll keep that one on there. I do like the daily. Not a big fan of this one. Maybe a possible. Let's take a look. JD, although the pre-market action looks horrible, I do like this daily for a possible breakout. So I want to keep that on there. Fubo actually looks good. Pre-market, this looks pretty good here. I like the daily on this. I like the pre-market action. A great volume, 1.4, down 9.7. This can go either way, guys. The stock has been very strong. So this sell-off here is not a surprise at all. Does not mean this thing is going to drop, but hopefully we can get some movement and volatility. I like that one. PLTR, definitely on our list, guys. Continues to trade so well. And this daily just looks explosive to me if we can get going here. So up 2%, pretty good volume. Plug also looking good. So so far, CBAT is probably the one that looks the worst. I mean, don't get fooled by that drop there, guys. That's not good pre-market action. That's not good price action at the moment, right? So we'll see what comes out of that. PLTR is good. Plug is looking good. American Airlines, I do like. Not much going on here. It's pretty flat, but there's some potential here that can get going one way or the other. So no, not a bad list. Possible. CBAT still a great possible, guys. I just don't like this drop out of nowhere here. It just could get very choppy, so I'd rather watch something else a little more stable at the moment. Envis starting to look a lot better, guys. So I see why you guys threw this back out to me after I discarded it. But here you can see at 8 a.m. starting to get much better here. So we'll see. Volume is picking up nicely. We'll see what happens there. mRNA looks good. It actually looks very good. This daily also is nice here. Nice drop here, trying to recover. MGIN looks good. That's a good possible. Fuel cell, not looking all that great right now. Pre-market looks okay. The daily looks a whole lot better. I do like the daily on there. ALC, I'm going to remove, guys, for the most part. This stock, again, just not, I won't be surprised if this doesn't do anything today. So let's get rid of this one. CLDR, good possible. NKLA, we don't have shares for short on this one, so I'm just going to, I don't want to be taking this stuff long anyway, even if it decides to move that way. CLNE, starting to really pick up here, guys. So
I was just about to say this thing's rampant.
yeah, this thing is really going here. I'm going to move this down to the riskier pile. It's not a low flow stock, but you want to be cautious with the number of shares you take here. I'll show you why in a second as I adjust this list here. If you look at the way this thing is moving, man, this is a dollar move right here with some really good volume. So you want to be careful here in the number of shares. Lower price stock, but moving very well today. At the moment, so definitely like that there. OCGN, you know what, this is more of a penny stock. I missed this here. I was looking just at the price action pre-market, but looking at the daily, it shouldn't be on here. Let's get rid of this. KBNT, this one is so-so. We could let it live here for a little bit, but most likely not gonna be anything interesting. CLNE definitely got a lot going on for it this morning. So all right, let's fine tune our secondary list a little bit more. Fuel cell is good. CLDR is good. Ride is good. All right, so they all got a similar pre-market action. Let's look at the daily. Ride's daily I like a lot, so I'm going to keep that on there. CLDR's daily is good. Fuel cell is good. MGIN, oh, you know what? They all look all right. No, we'll leave it as is. Let's leave it at like that. All right, let's do levels, guys. JD, let's start there. High of our pre-market at the moment, looking at 85.59. And you might be thinking, well, Carlos, this pre-market action looks horrible, but I really like some of the patterns I'm seeing here on this one. So I want to see if we're going to break out here. We're going to be testing this 87, these 89 levels here. We might not. We might get a drop back down to 83, but I like the way we are sitting up against this level, this pre-market high right here, level of support and resistance in the past. So I want to see how we're going to play off that level there. there. Towards the bottom, guys, you do have a minor area of support and resistance right on here, 84. You can see much resistance here, great support here in a couple of days. Towards the bottom of that, previous day close, and then highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. And above the 85.59, we do have 87.04. So let's see how that plays out. If it doesn't get any better by the time we get into 9:30, we can always remove it and put something else here. Fubo here starting to bounce off this 54.54. You're surrounded by the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, so pretty good in there. Let's see what else we have here. The pre-market high, I mean, the previous day closed at 62. That's a long way. Trying to see if we have any good levels of support and resistance. This one might be one here, guys. 58.87 at the pre-market yesterday, and also during the intraday yesterday. You can see several times hitting that level, 58.87. So I want to have that on there. Let's see if we can get back up there, slightly above the VWAP at the moment. So we'll keep that one on there. PLTR, guys, I think this is probably one of my favorite stocks today, looking really good. 29 is your high of your pre-market on the dot. Above that, we do have some levels here. We have 30.13. We also have 31.16, and all the way up here 33.40. Towards the bottom, highs and lows, previous day close, got you covered there. Here is plug high of the pre-market right now, hitting 37.81. So we'll throw a level there. And then towards the bottom, the low of the pre-market right now is just flirting with the high from yesterday. So it's just kind of hanging on there. Let's see if it's going to hold or we're going to collapse from there. But plugs started to pick up some good volume here, good pre-market action. Again, the last couple of days is very extended on the daily, by the way. So I won't be surprised if we get some kind of sell-off here into the market open. American Airlines starting to get going. It's trying to get above this previous day close and stay green. Towards the top, guys, you got plenty of levels on there already. I'm just going to mark the low of the pre-market over at 15.21. That's good. And then towards the bottom here, we do have several levels here. We have this one here, 14.91, and all the way down here at 14.20 for American Airlines. So let's see how that's going to play out. This is really more of a possible, guys. Again, not much going on right now, so we can actually move this one down and see if we can find something better as we go through the moderators lineup this morning. So I only have 4 so far. Oh, why did you do that? All right, so that does happen to you, because I'm sure it has. If you try to click on the first ticker and by mistake you hit the symbol, you can come in here, you can right click, and you can hit user defined list. So if you do this, it'll take it back to the way you had it. So there we go. All right, so is that the way you had it? Yeah, it is, but for some reason this should be like that. All right, perfect. All right, so secondary, we'll go through it again, but let's take a look at what our moderators list looks like this morning. Let's bring this in here. Let's see what we have here, what our lineup looks like today. Yes, I do hate when that happens to me. When I didn't know what actually to do, it was such a pain, because then you had to reshuffle everything. It's pretty annoying. Brian, JMIA, Fubu, So, Plug, BLNK, and also FRSX for fun. Peter, 2 IPOs today, GBS and IKT. Mike likes only SQ, which is a decent one. I wonder what is SQ up to now. We'll look at it in a second. Thor, PLTR, Fubo, Plug, and Apple. Secondary Neo, SQ, cause Mike B is watching it. I agree. If Mike is focused on one stock only, that's a stock that we all should have on our list. Jabber is watching PLTR, Plug, Apple, Secondary, Fubo, NKLA. Tiffany likes PLTR, Apple, and Fubo. Watch list for Peter, not loving anything yet. We'll pick from 3 of the secondary. Secondary list is AMD, Fubo, PLTR, Apple, Fuel Cell, and NKLA. And Peter, I agree with that comment very, very much. It's not a whole lot looking great today. Watch list of Fuel Cell, Piton, QS, Secondary, CLDR, Apple, and Riot. So notice how our watch lists are very different, right, from the moderators, because it's not a whole lot looking great. When you have a lot that's looking very, very good, our watches are very, very similar, but there's a few on here that we all like, right? PLTR is almost on everybody's list. I think that's probably one of the best ones, except Brian, but I'm sure he'll feel FOMO now, so he'll add it. But PLTR is probably one of the best ones this morning, and I think we traded that very well yesterday as well. And Apple was decent yesterday. What is Apple doing today? We did not look at that one. Apple not doing a whole lot. The volume is good. Apple could be interesting. Yeah, Apple could actually be interesting. And it traded so clean yesterday. I wouldn't mind having the daily on Apple. Yesterday's daily, this does not justify how great it traded. If you go back, you gotta look at the details here. You can see how beautiful this pop was. And the drop too, taking it for a short. So it gave us some good opportunities there. All right, 9:13, guys. This is what we have. Just a recap. We have JD. I wanted to look at SQ too, because I know that's the only one Mike has on his list. What does SQ look like today? All right, possible breakout. This thing has just been ripping nicely, guys. SQ sitting at 244. Wow, insane. All right, so we have JD again, more of a possible, but I do like the potential on this one. Fubo is good. I like the pre-market action. PLTR I think has probably one of the best pre-market actions, and daily. I like the daily here as well. Plug's very active. Whoa, look at Plug with a 30 cents pop here, looking very nice. Volume coming in lovely. Yeah, Plug is good, guys. Apple also decent here on the pre-market and the daily, gapped up nicely. It's trying to hold its new levels up here. And then our secondary, we have American Airlines as a possible. CBAT is just doing some madness over there in the pre-market. MVIS is good. mRNA, yeah, a lot. These are all possible. MGNI continues to drop here, so that could be a good one. We do have shares for short. Fuel cells coming back up. Yeah, it's again, all the possibles are all in there. It's hard to determine which one to keep, which one to take to drop off this list. One key thing today, guys, again, as we mentioned earlier, if you missed it, you know, you got to understand what type of market you're in, how is the market trading, how are these stocks moving. Notice today, again, as I mentioned before, our list is not great. So don't go in here today trying to force something. If you want to make up for what you did yesterday, maybe you had a rough day, had a red day. Today, the market might not be giving you an opportunity to do that. So recognize that, realize that, identify that, and trade accordingly. Do not force something today. Again, you want to save that ammo for when things are moving well, and then you want to be aggressive, right? That's very, very important. Don't be aggressive on a day that the market is now allowing you to be aggressive. So keep that in mind today. And again, it might be the same thing tomorrow. Is tomorrow half a day? Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow's half a day. So same thing. It might be the same thing tomorrow, and even on next week. You know, it's just during the holidays. No, we traded through a few holidays already. And we see what that is like. Sometimes you get some runners,
Christmas to New Year's is usually a very good stretch. There's a lot of volume that comes in the market that week. The traditional Santa Claus rally technically starts today, so we'll see if that has anything in store. You know, there are some good opportunities. Just like we've got, you know, the Gabbers list. It's a little funky this morning, but we've had some big gains recently, specifically in November. So. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how everything lays out, guys. Guys, take care, trade safe. We will see you tomorrow at 8:30 to close out the week. Brian is coming on next, and I believe Thor is taking us through the open this morning. So we will hop on our chat room and continue there. So take care, guys. Who is?
Andrew will be here today.
Oh, Andrew's here. Excellent. Oh, there he is. Oh, Andrew's list coming in at the buzzer beater. Andrew's coming in here at a PLTR. Oops, bring that back. He has PLTR, Plug, CCL, Apple, and Fubo on his list. What is CCL doing? We did not look at that one. CCL. So CCL, very similar to American Airlines. So I have American Airlines on my list. It's very similar here, guys. Again, anything can happen. Their daily does look good. Good, decent volume, up 1.5. We'll see how that's going to play out today. So, all right, guys. Take care. Trade safe. Over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. We appreciate you, and we will see you tomorrow.
Got it. Take care, guys. Trade safe.